Hey, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. So today I'm going to do a quick walk around of the parts donor I have. So my 1985 635 CSI. So yeah, the this motor is the 3.5. It's the M30. So it's generally the same overall motor, or at least the same layout as my 633 with the 3.2. But I'll show you side by side which one kind of looks a little cleaner versus is not. This one obviously doesn't look the cleanest. But yeah, so I picked this car up from North Jersey. It was only a couple $100, and then I paid a buddy of mine to trailer it down from North Jersey down to me in Central Jersey. So I'm about like $500 into this car, into my parts car. So yeah, it was already sold. It was being parted out. I kind of just asked for, a price for what was left of the car. So there's no mirrors. That sucks for me because it allows for, obviously, nature to pass through. Hasn't been listed as long, and the mirrors were sold relatively recently, so not a whole lot of time for stuff to get inside. So if I go ahead and open, one of the things that you'll notice is that the striker is not on the door, and the backing for the striker has fallen down and is down in the body. So I'll try to pull that. The actual physical piece is right here. So that had fallen off and the back had fallen down. Once I start pulling it into it a little more, I'll try to fish it out. But here's the interior for this car of what's left. Steering column is all loose, so the wheel's out. I prefer this steering wheel actually to the one in my car. Obviously it's still shitty, so I'm going to end up getting a full replacement steering wheel. I'm going to go for a European style that's a little smaller, no airbag, stuff like that. But I didn't really get this car with the intention of using a whole lot. I also didn't know it had a motor and transmission in it when I purchased the car. So that's another interesting bit about it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull these seats out. When I run my ozone machine in the other car, I'm gonna have the seats in it to kind of clean them up as well. Just because this car obviously doesn't seal, the door doesn't shut all the way, and there's no mirrors to hold everything in. Obviously the other car doesn't have the back window that rolls all the way up yet. I'm going to use a power probe and just force it up. No real worries. So when I fold the seat forward, obviously it's not as bad. It was already missing the rear seats. It's got some of the trim and stuff in the back. It's, some rust here and there. Not quite as bad as mine. The trunk's also in a little bit better shape, the trunk lid. So it also came with wheels. Obviously all the wheels are bent. So one of the things to look at if you're getting a car that's supposed to be in better shape, obviously I didn't get this one with the intention of it running, is something like this. Obviously it's very visible that it's going to be bent. So without looking at the inside of the wheel of the barrel, I'm going to assume that's bent as well, just by how bad this side is. You're going to feel that on the road. It's not going to want to balance very well without throwing a shitload of weight at it. But yeah, this one has a little bit more rust to it than my other car. Obviously this one was from up north, from New York State, whereas the other one's from Virginia. So, and with it not being at the coast of Virginia, a little less prone to the salt air from the ocean. As we go around, obviously I didn't care. I don't plan on using the wheels. I don't plan on keeping tires. They hold enough air for me to move it. That's fine by me. So when we look at the engine bay, this one still has the intake installed. I had unclasped it because I wanted to take a look at it. There was oil on the dipstick. Things like that. You can pop open the cap, or try to at least, and you can kind of take a quick look at inside of the engine and kind of check the wear that you might be able to see. So I'm gonna be pulling everything apart, obviously, to rebuild it. So it doesn't matter too much because I'll be able to check it. So I'll be pulling this out and building this side by side with the 3.2 that's in my title car. So aesthetically, this one is a little bit cleaner than this one. So the 633 is a little cleaner than the 635. But when I look at the 633, when we come around it, it didn't have the intake in it when it was parked. That was inside of the car. The air hose, the air tubing from the intake to the manifold is torn, so that means that something could have gotten in there. Obviously, there's a flap, but with that open, moisture, whatever, animal urine, stuff like that can still pass through, and then obviously that will then lead into the motor. And so when I strip it all apart, I'll be able to take a better look at it. Some of the things that I do have on the way, I have new spark plugs coming, I have new wires coming, I have a new distributor coming. So I'm getting it ready for a full rebuild. It's just a matter of when I get to it. And when I can get more parts for it. I have the rod bearings on the way. Bits and pieces here and there that I'll then eventually be able to throw it all together in. So this, obviously, you can see there's more signs of critters with the nuts, the shells and stuff, and kind of a little spot where something would have nested. So, and stuff's wearing through. So you guys are probably going to get something a little cleaner than what I'm doing. But to me, it's still good to know. So this car had some damage. Obviously, there's no front bumper to it. It's the front end is what it is, right? I got the headlights are at least there. So to me, I'm gonna take what I need out of this, and then I'm gonna sell some of the parts myself. And then what I get from that is then gonna go into my 635, 633. And try to make a little bit back so it doesn't hurt me quite as much doing it all alone. So yeah, the tape on the door is because the striker is not there attached. When my buddy was towing it, so the door didn't fly open when he's taking turns or anything on his trailer, he just taped it. Look, I told him, don't worry about it. I said if it gets banged up, I mean, whoever pulled that mirror off kind of just said fuck it and mangled the shit out of the metal. So the door itself, unless someone wanted to just take the exterior of it or something, it's kind of shot. But the passenger side's not as bad. So what they had sold previously was some of the stripping, so the trim at the top, and then they kind of just fucked the rest of it up, I guess, because nobody was really going to buy the whole thing. I just wanted it because I initially had a shell, a unibody lined up that had a title. Was completely stripped down, so no wheels, suspension, subframes, no motor, no trans, had no glass, no doors, no trunk. It was literally just, you have the fenders, you have the unibody, and that was pretty much it on that car. The downside and why I didn't go through with that, and why I bought this one for the glass, is I told the man, look, I don't mind if it's a little rusty. So some of the common rust points on these are around the exterior arches. Obviously the fenders, depending on where you live, it'll be a little more prone because up north there's more salt on the roads and more use of it, so it eats it away. So the rear fenders, the rear wheel well arches, the floorboard on the passenger side rear more so than the front, and then under the accelerator is where it will also rot. So this one actually looks not as bad as mine, as the 633, but I can definitely tell that there is some rust going on down there. So I'll see if I can clean it up a little bit and then swap it and use it. Otherwise I'm gonna just cut from a different section of the floor. Or I have a buddy with 3 of these, trade him and then cut the floor out of one of his, and then he can swap his motor and stuff into this one, and he'll get it however he wants to do it to drive it. But yeah, so the other one had some more rust than the guy initially, exclaimed or explained to me. So his car had rot in the engine bay, so against the driver's side fender. It had some on the passenger side, a little bit on the rear, around the arches, which again I didn't mind because the swap I'm doing, I have to put in the rear end from the mid to late 2000s E60, so the 5 Series sedan. So I'm not too worried about that because I'm going to cut those anyway. But what he did, and I haven't been able to find out why, in this back quarter, there were two maybe 12-inch just straight cut lines that were right through the car. I had no idea why he would have done that. But then also in the rear, there were some big dents, a shitload of Bondo that was cracking, and it was just a mess. He still wanted $800 for the unibody with the title, and then it was going to be another $450 to trailer it from New York City down to New Jersey, and $1,250 just was not going to be worth it for that car, even to be able to have a chassis to put it in. So to put that in perspective, that unibody with title from New York was going to cost me about $1,300 end of day, whereas if I didn't trade for my 633, this one would have been $2,000 with motor, transmission, glass, doors, wheels, suspension, everything. Even though it has to get rebuilt, it had it, and this would have been about $700 more than that one. And this one's closer to driving. So, well, I say closer. It's I don't have to do as much work to get it driving, or I shouldn't have to do as much work. So yeah, these are the two cars that I got. These are my two E24s. What I think I'm going to do is, as I sell parts from this one, I might buy another donor car and kind of start trying to be a little more E24 friendly and try to gain a lot more knowledge about them and try to help out a lot more. So again, I know I haven't gotten into the building yet. I'm doing the freebie stuff that I can until I have more and have space to pull the motors and rebuild those. So I'm doing what I can with what I got for now. And I know it's not going to be as exciting, but we'll get to the little bit more exciting stuff, a little more in-depth stuff and knowledge stuff as I have time and money to do that. So I appreciate you guys all for taking the time to watch my video. I'm not going to say give me a like, comment, subscribe, but if you want to follow the journey of the barn find or the woods find from 2009 out of the woods of Virginia, meeting my parts car from New York State from 2006, feel free to subscribe or just check in from time to time. And I'm going to try to do videos every Monday, Wednesday, and then as I can do a video over the weekend. With my busy schedule, I'm kind of using today, which is Thanksgiving, as a day to record a little bit so that I have something to post later on. But yeah, I'm going to start pulling stuff apart in the next video if I have some sunlight, and I hope you guys are around to check it out. Thank you, and I hope you guys all have when you see this, had a happy Thanksgiving, and I hope everybody got home safe. Thank you guys again for watching, and I hope I talk to you next time.